Hi everyone, my name is Amber. Welcome back to my channel. This is my birthday book haul. So I've actually split this book haul into 3 different categories. So first of all, I have the books that I bought for myself over the past few months, so not just for my birthday. Other ones are ones that I got as gifts specifically for my birthday, and then other ones are books that my friend sent me as kind of like a swap thing that we were doing. So I'm going to start with the ones I bought myself first, and then we're going to get into the gifts, just because that's the order in which they are in front of me. So because I don't really know where to start, let's just go at random. This first one is called Here and Now and Then by Mike Chen, who you may have seen on Twitter. He is quite active, and this is about a main character who is a time traveler, and he goes back to the 1990s, I think, and he gets stuck there. So he kind of builds a life for himself. And then his rescue team show up, but they show up way later, after he has already established his life, met someone, had children, I think. And so because they're meant to be returning him to 2140, I think, he doesn't really want to leave at this point, but also he has to go back. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I love time travel books, so that's why I picked this one up, and I'm also hoping to do a kind of Mike Chen project in January, so that's when I will be reading this and his 2 other books that are coming out or are already out, and I will be figuring out which one I think is best. The next one I bought for myself is Monday's Not Coming. This one is about a teenage girl whose best friend has vanished. The tagline says, "This is the story of how my best friend disappeared, how nobody noticed she was gone except me, and how nobody cared until they found her 1 year later." So I don't know if the main character is searching for her best friend throughout that whole year and then eventually she's found, or if Monday is found a year later and we have to kind of relive what Monday was going through. I've heard fantastic things about this author. She has released a new book this year as well, and so again I'm hoping to check out all of her books, all of her backlist, and seeing which book I prefer of hers, which one I think is probably the best. I bought this one first because I do think it's going to be this one, but to be honest, all of Tiffany Jackson's books sound really good, so it could be any of them. Next, I bought The Valiant, which is one I've had my eye on for absolute years. This is about gladiators. If you know anything about me, you'll know that I really enjoy ancient Rome and history, and I also love the Spartacus TV show, so I also love gladiators. It says here that the main character Fallon is the daughter of a proud Celtic king, the sister of a legendary warrior, and the sworn enemy of Julius Caesar. Caesar's armies invade, Fallon is captured and sold into an elite training school for female gladiators owned by none other than Julius Caesar. So I do find that in media, obviously, most depictions of gladiators are male, but female gladiators were actually a thing. So that's partly why I'm looking forward to this one, and also because I'm just really in the mood for some historical fiction, and this sounds perfect. It's also the first part in, I think, a trilogy. There's definitely a second book, I'm not sure if there's a third, and my friend Kayla loves it, so I'm gonna give it a go. Then I have Horror Store, which is one that I've already read. I read it in October, and this is about a main character who works at a home store, kind of like IKEA, and she has to stay there overnight because they think that someone is breaking in, and her manager asks her to try to find out who it is and stop them. But it turns into a bit of a ghost story, and I did enjoy this one. I think I gave it 3 stars. It was a really fun book, and I would definitely be interested in reading Grady Hendrix's work in the future. I'm not sure this is one that I would reread, so I might do a giveaway for this one, just because it's not really all that noteworthy, but it is fun, and the format was really interesting and unique. And then we have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This one, I think, is a YA mystery thriller. It says here that 5 years ago, schoolgirl Anzi Bell was murdered by Sal Singh. The police know he did it, everyone in town knows he did it, but having grown up in the same small town that was consumed by the murder, Pippa isn't so sure. When she chooses the case as the topic for her final year project, she starts to uncover secrets that someone in town desperately wants to stay hidden. So I guess she's doing a school project, and she is going to end up figuring out the murder. So this sounds a bit like Truly Devious, but kind of more present day, and also probably a bit more interesting and dark, I hope. I think this is also part of a series. I'm not sure if it's a trilogy or a duology, and it's also told in mixed media format with reports and text messages and things. Next, we have The Bear and the Nightingale, which I can't believe I haven't read, but I haven't. I'm actually doing a buddy read for this one in December, along with a few other books. So like I did in October, I'll be reading 1 book a week, and it's open for buddy reading. So if you want to join in, I'll be reading The Bear and the Nightingale during the 3rd week of December, and in my December TBR, which has gone up before this video, I will have spoken about the schedule and which other books that I will be reading throughout December. So go and check out that video or my tweets if you haven't already. I will link everything below. But this one, I honestly have no idea what it's about. I don't really want to know because I want to go into it blind, and I am pretty sure I'm going to love this book, and it's probably going to be featured in my 5-star predictions video because I reckon I'm gonna love it. Everyone else does, so I don't see why I wouldn't. Then we have a book that I already started as an e-copy, then I decided that I was enjoying it so much that I wanted my physical copy, and I stopped reading the ebook because I wanted to wait for the physical one to come in, and that is Crown of Feathers, which is YA fantasy, and this cover is actually stunning. I love it. So this one is about two sisters and a bunch of phoenixes, and that's all I really want to say about that, because I can't remember how far through the book I got and which parts of it could be spoilery, but the two sisters are potentially phoenix riders, and it's so much fun. It's really well written as well. It's a debut, so it's one that I definitely want to feature when I read it. I probably won't be reading this one in December, but definitely early on in January. Next we have almost an entire series, because I will be doing a project for it. As you're seeing this, I think the project will be pretty much wrapped up. I don't know if I will have uploaded the video yet. So this is a teaser, I guess, for that. I bought the Ember in the Ashes series, at least the 3 books that are out so far as I'm recording this. So my plan is to marathon all 3 books in time for the 4th one, and then read the 4th one, do a whole reading vlog on it. And yeah, I'm just really excited. So I've already read the first book, Ember in the Ashes. I read that years ago, but I need to do a reread because I can't really remember much of it. This is YA fantasy inspired by ancient Rome, which I love. And it also has brand new covers. And honestly, these are really, really pretty, especially compared to the original. I can't really remember the plot of it. I just remember that there's an orphan or a girl who gets taken somewhere. And then there's also a soldier who doesn't want to be a soldier anymore because he doesn't like the Empire or something like that. I don't know. I'm not very good at book plots. And then we have A Torch Against the Night, which also has a stunning cover, and A Reaper at the Gate. I can't remember what the 4th book is called, but I'm sure you all know it. Next, I bought The Lightest Object in the Universe, which is post-apocalyptic fiction. I think it's adult, not YA. It says here that the main character is on the East Coast when the electrical grid goes down. He needs to find Beatrix, a woman on the West Coast who holds his heart, so he sets off across the country. Meanwhile, Beatrix and her neighbours are constructing a community, and the two need to find their way to one another. So I'm expecting this to be a bit like Station 11, which I did really enjoy, more in hindsight than while I was reading the actual book. But I really, really love post-apocalyptic fiction, and especially this year, I've actually been in the mood for it, which is a bit strange. That's okay, we've all got our own tastes. Another one I bought, which I don't think I've mentioned before, I got it when I was living elsewhere in between moving from my rental property to this house. So I don't think I've mentioned it, I'm sorry if I have. This one is City of Lies. The 2nd book actually recently came out, I believe, and this is some of my friends' favourite book. They just said it's really good, so I think it's about a poison tester. Is that right? I don't really know. I don't really want to read the back, to be honest. The tagline says, I was 7 years old the first time my uncle poisoned me, so I assume it's got something to do with poisoning, and it's a chunky book. I haven't read it yet. I do need to check it out, but it probably won't be until the new year because I've got so much to do in December. And then finally, the last book that I bought for myself, but not the last book of this haul, is Rules for Vanishing, which I have already read and I really, really enjoyed. This is a YA horror thriller kind of paranormal sort of thing, and it's about a main character whose sister went missing a year ago, and she and a bunch of her friends go along this road to find her sister, and then magical things start happening along this road based on local legends. I thought it was fantastic. I gave it 4 stars. I probably would have spoken more about this in my November wrap-up because I think I read it first day of November. I don't know, it's been so long. This month has gone on forever. Okay, and then I have the books that my friend Justine sent to me because we did a kind of book swap, and the first one is Beneath the Citadel, which I don't think I've hauled before. It's been so long. Like I said, I think I got this around the same time as I got City of Lies. I do have an e-arc of this one, and I saw that she was getting rid of it, and so I asked her to send me her ARC copy just because I prefer to have a physical book to read at the moment. I can't really remember much of what it's about, so I think it's YA fantasy about a found family group of people. They're like a bunch of rebels, which is like one of my favourite tropes, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one eventually. I'm hopefully going to get to it soon because I did start it and I remember really, really enjoying it, but then life kind of got in the way, so I couldn't carry on with it. But because I do have an e-arc on NetGalley and I'm trying to clear my NetGalley shelf, I plan to get to this soon. She also sent to me a book that I am currently reading, maybe have already read by the time you see this video, My Friend Dharma, which is a graphic novel about, well, told by a person who knew Jeffrey Dahmer at school. I'm currently 40 pages into this and it's not told in full colour or anything. I'm not a massive fan of the art style, but but I'm hoping it's going to be really interesting and it's going to provide kind of a unique perspective. And then she also kindly sent me Wolf by Wolf, which is about a main character who perhaps turns into a wolf and then also has to kill Hitler. I think in this world, Germany won World War II, and so Hitler is still kind of at large, and so the main character has to go and kill him. I really enjoy alternate history books, and I haven't really read that many, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. I think it's YA as well. Okay, and then onto the books that were kindly gifted to me. I got quite a few here. I will leave links to all of these people that I mentioned down in the description below because they're definitely worth checking out. So because we're already talking about Justine, I'll talk about the books that she got for me first. First one is How Long Till Black Future Month by N.K. Jemisin. This is adding nicely to my N.K. Jemisin collection. I own quite a few of her books now and I've only read one of them, so I need to, you know, hurry up. This one I think is a collection of short stories. I'm not sure if it's fantasy short stories or if it's science fiction or if it's like a mixture of the two. I'm not always a fan of short stories, but if anyone can pull them off, it's N.K. Jemisin, so I have full faith that I am going to love this book and I can't wait to read it. Although again, I think this is one that's going to have to wait until next year. She also sent me Hold Back the Stars. I have no idea what this one's about, but I know that quite a few people have loved this one and quite a few of my friends have recommended it and it's one of their favourite books. So it says here, a few years from now, not too far in the future, two people meet. It's a classic story of boy meets girl, except it's not. When we find them, they have an hour and a half left. The clock is ticking. So I don't know what this is about. It's some sort of thriller, maybe sci-fi, and is there time travel? I don't know, but I'm really looking forward to reading it. It's also quite short, so I'm so tempted to try and fit this in December, but I'm not sure I can commit to it. This might have to be a January read. And before anyone asks, yes, I did see the faces on the front cover. And then Justine also sent me The Gutter Prayer, which I know is one of her favourite fantasy books. So this one is the first in a series, trilogy, I'm not too sure. I think it's meant to be really weird and dark, so I'm a bit hesitant to read it, but at the same time, I'm very, very intrigued, and also I love this cover. It says here that The Gutter Prayer is an epic tale of sorcerers and thieves, treachery and revenge from a remarkable new voice in fantasy. I don't know, I'm just really excited for this, and I know so many people who have read it, even though it's not the most popular book, and have given it 5 stars, so yeah, I've got complete faith that I will love it. And speaking of The Gutter Prayer, my Amazon wishlist like effed up. So I got another copy from my friend Lena, so I now have 2. I don't really need to talk about this again, obviously, but I think my partner wants to buddy read this with me, so this is actually perfect that we've got 2 copies because then we can read at the same time and he's not going to ruin my copy. I don't know what happened to my Amazon wish list. This happened again with another book that I'll show you in a second, which is quite funny. So yeah, I've got 2 copies of this now. Another book that also doubled up on my wish list was The Twisted Ones. I got 1 copy from Kayla and 1 copy from Stephanie. I am so grateful. It's a shame that it doubled up, but what can you do? I don't know what I'm going to do with my second copy yet. I'm going to either do a giveaway or maybe swap it for another book because I don't think Quill is as interested in buddy reading this one with me. But this one I think is adult horror. I don't know much else about it. I'm not sure if I should really read the back, but the quotes that I am reading say, read this one with the lights on, hugely entertaining read, definitely not one to miss, clever, gruesome, funny and downright terrifying. So if this turns out to be a really scary book, I'm gonna be so happy. And I've also heard really good things about their other book, which was called, or is called, The Hollow Places, I think. And if I enjoyed this one, I'll be checking out that one. You can see my pile here is getting larger. So another book that a friend sent me is The City in the Middle of the Night. My friend Kerry sent this, and I think we're going to be buddy reading this one probably in January. This one was nominated for the Hugo Awards. I think it was nominated for something, I'm pretty sure it was that. And I did start reading it as an ebook, but I couldn't get into it, so I'm hoping that the physical version will be better for me. So in this book, half of the planet is in eternal darkness and the other half is in eternal sunlight, and so humans have to live kind of along the rim where it's kind of like the safe zone. It says here that humanity clings to life spread across 2 archaic cities built in the sliver of habitable dusk. So I think this is going to be kind of almost a dystopian sci-fi apocalyptic mess, and I'm really looking forward to it. We've got a couple more to go now. My friend Cassidy very kindly sent me Oathbringer parts 1 and 2. I still haven't read Words of Radiance, but as you are watching this video, I will probably be about halfway through it, I hope, if my plans are working out. So I'm going to get into this one very soon. I've also just noticed the face on the cover and it comes together like this, so that's fun. I don't know how I didn't see that before. I don't know what I was registering it as, maybe as like some sort of black blob. But this is the 3rd book in the Stormlight Archive, which is so far about like kind of an epic war. It's very complicated. I'm probably not the person to explain it because I've only read the 1st book. And then finally my friend Rowan really kindly sent me Gideon the Ninth, which is a book that I've had my eye on for ages and I just wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it, but I think I know enough about it now to maybe think that I will. So I've been told that this is lesbian necromancers in space, but I've also been told that it's not, and that's a really rubbish description. Although the quote on the cover does say lesbian necromancers explore a haunted Gothic palace in space. So is it? I'm really excited to read this one. I've heard that it's a bit weird, and I've heard that it's kind of an acquired taste. It's not for everyone, but a lot of my friends have really enjoyed it, especially the ones that have similar tastes to me. So I do want to check it out. Probably not soon. I'm thinking again, maybe in February, because I don't think I've got time to read it otherwise. But hopefully if I enjoy this one, I can get my hands on Harrow straight away and then read them almost back to back. So those are all the books that my friends got me, and I am so grateful. I'm so happy. I'm really in the mood to read all of them at the moment, so I'm really having to stop myself from just quitting my TBR. I'm reading everything. My friends are so generous. Please go and check them out. I will leave links to their YouTube channels or blogs below so you can easily find them. I think if you enjoy the books that I do, then you'll definitely like the books that they read and recommend. So those are all the books in my massive birthday book haul. I'm not going to be buying any more books now until the new year, probably February, because I really need to start working on my backlist, the books on my shelves, and I think the new year is probably the perfect time to start trying to do that, because I was going to attempt to do that in 2020, but then I just wanted to buy all the books because I was stuck at home with them, so that didn't work out. But in 2021 I will of course be buying new books because I want to support as many authors as possible, but I also want to focus on my backlist books because I have a lot of them. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already to join me on my journey, my reading journey. If you'd like me to read any of these books soon and do a review on any of them, or just give my thoughts in a wrap up, then do let me know in the comments below. If any of them are like your favorite books and you think I will love them, please tell me, because then I can try to prioritize them and we can talk about them. Thank you again for watching, and I'll speak to you all in my next video. Bye.